I'm saying the draft is next level hilarity in people predicting. Like, at least you can make an educated guess. Like, you've watched these guys play 82 regular season games. You've seen them play in the playoffs. Steph and company have, a handful of championships.
It's just an assessment of what they needed versus what they got, and the value of those players and what they think they're going to add to the organization. It's just an assessment. I know you understand that. Rich is just saying it's hullabaloo at this point.
It's just as laughable as your March Madness bracket.
A great spot. This is even more laughable than that because you're taking guys. All right,
you know who you should ask?
Yes,
Jordan Schultz, but he might take that as an insult. Jordan Schultz.
I want to be nice
for this.
I want to be friends with him,
and I'm sure he's part of the grading system. He's so involved. So ask him, hey, what are you grading on? Like the potential? I'm imagining that's really all it is.
Danny G.
But you'd like to see where that grade went. 4 years down the road.
I think it's Listen, I'm one that's accountable. I'll be honest. If I tell you guys, man, I really think Lakers are closing it out tonight. If the Grizzlies stomp them, I'll be the first to be like, man, I'm an ass. I got that wrong. Guys, I missed my parlay. I'm an honest grown man.
Dude, how about me? I said Ryan Garcia was going to win the fight last week. Not even close.
You were wrong.
I know. Did you see that email from the Win? They're never having us back.
Oh, no way. Because that was the worst? Because I took Garcia?
Yo, Dan Beyer, you're one of the most knowledgeable sports guys I know. You got to back me up a little bit that it's such hilarity in the, you're guessing on the highest level.
I am a sucker, just like Danny G is. They
did my team
reel
do well?
me in. Yes,
they gave me an A-. They give the Seahawks an A-.
And considering the Seahawks' best draft class probably in the history of the franchise, well, it is in the history of the franchise, kind of Bobby Wagner and Russell Wilson, was graded an F. But I am still hook, line, and sinker. I want that instant gratification
Russ
right away.
and Bobby Wagner. F says Mel Kiper. Come on.
Says Football Junkies. Well, actually, there probably is a site called Football Junkies. But yeah, it's just some random stuff I'll look up and be like, oh, well, Chuck in Texas thinks that they stunk.
Listen, I know people are doing their job, and I get it. The same way we make our predictions, like, hey, tonight,
but it's the same thing as the old school Maxim Hot 100. It's just an assessment of these girls. There's no fact behind who's number one.
Here's a list of the top 10 romantic comedies of the 2000s. Like, you're right, it's all subjective, but
Rolling Stone put out their top 200 greatest singers of all time. Says a bunch of bozos in a room, but it gets people talking. It gets Dan Beyer, interested. He's looking. It's just the opinion of the quote unquote experts and what they think was done at the draft. That's all. We're talking the grading system, by the way. Grading the draft.
And not just football. If you don't think that when I hear the Mets prospect is ranked number 2 overall, I'm like, ooh. But then I got to check myself and be like, says who?
The experts.
Says who? Says who?
The people who know a little bit more than you and
just like Trump's old lawyer that went to jail.
Says who?
Says who?
Says who? I love that guy.
I loved him because, politics aside, that's when everyone was saying, Trump can't win. Says who? And then he kept saying that. That's when they were friends, right?
Danny G. Ramos, is there any sense of validity to the grading system, in your opinion, or is it just fun?
None. No. Just fun.
Just fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
The point, that we were talking about, on the network earlier was, you have these weeks and months of lead up, and you're talking about guys and you're picking them apart. I mean, it's basically this guy doesn't do this guy doesn't do that. And then when a guy falls in the draft, you're like, what great value. It's like the Jalen Carter example is so striking because there were so many red flags, and then the Eagles take him. They're like, Eagles do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Value
A+.
Value
A+.
Yep. Do you remember when the Patriots they stole Mac Jones?
Yeah.
Mac Jones fell into the Patriots' hands, and now they're off
Bill
him already.
Belichick does it again.
And, like you said, Rich, it's too early to tell, and hindsight's 2020. We were talking off the air about the Knicks. Who would have thought the Knicks would have won out in the long run with the players that they got? Now they look like they got a squad. It just takes some time. So it's just the assessment, the overall assessment right now.
And you know how to get an automatic F right now. Draft a running back too high.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
F. The Lions are, everyone in Detroit's like, we got an F.
The great example Covino just said, we were talking about earlier. If you rewind a couple years ago, all the free agents, where are they going to go in the NBA? They all chose Brooklyn, and everyone said, damn, KD, Kyrie, Harden. They can't lose.
You would
And
have gave the Knicks a C-.
no, an F and a C-. They got no one.
Well, you got to bank on some potential there. They had some young blood.
Yeah, but in free agency, Covino, everyone said, well, KD or Kyrie, they got nothing, and everyone thought.
And look how it panned out.
Everyone would have said, Knicks F, the Nets A. And when you look now, a good trade for Brunson, Randall, good young players are developing. The Knicks are one of the favorites out of the East, and the Nets are one of the biggest failure stories.
So there should be, you know what I'm getting out of this? I'm getting, if we all love the grading system for the draft, right, grading the draft, there should be an update. So you're grading the Nets now based on all those moves. Hey, you know what? They went from an F to an A. Good job. Good job. And then, we should reassess in the future.
We should.
But they don't. You know what? That's the worst part about sports talk, period. No one's ever really fully accountable, right? There should be a grading system on the quote-unquote experts. How right and wrong are they all the time?
It's funny because when you see like NFL on Fox Sunday mornings, they do because they have the season record of their picks. And you're like, damn, like Howie Long's under 500? Jimmy Johnson, one of the best coaches of our lifetime.
But for the most part, unless I brought up the fact that I had Ryan Garcia winning this fight, we probably would have never addressed it again. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen enough. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
But just
who's giving the Knicks the A right now?
We can move on from it, but I just find it pretty hilarious, big picture, that everyone, including me, I've been a sucker in the past to look at my team's grading, and I'm like, oh man, the Niners C-. I'm like, but then
and it
again,
gets people talking, Rich. You and I have said for years that people create lists just to piss people off and just to get people to talk.
Oh yeah, best artist of the 2000s, and it'll end up being a list of, they'll leave off like the Foo Fighters.
But they do it on purpose because they know that there's going to be a lot of eyes on there. It's going to get people talking. It's going to get people to speculate. It's going to get more clicks, and that's good for sponsors. That's part of the strategery. So, like Dan Beyer said, if this is all good and fun, it's just to get people to talk. And you see what my team got? You see what we got? We got an A in the draft. You get pumped about it. It's just another way of getting you pumped for the NFL. So grading the draft, is it all just some BS? Rich can't stand it. Rich doesn't like it. In fact, I feel like he was more angry about it earlier.
No, I just think, we
were on the phone talking about it. Rich was like, I felt the frustration because he's
because I was just flipping through all the different networks on my way over here, and I'm like, my goodness. People think they know all the answers. What is the consensus, though, guys, on Anthony Richardson, Florida State going to Indianapolis? Because that's one of the that was
Florida. No state.
I'm sorry, Florida.
Yeah.
Gators. Not that was bad.
Not Knowles.
Don't want to upset. They get upset when you mix that up down there. Is that the one early pick where there's like a split? Like, great choice. Underdeveloped. Like, is there a consensus? Is that a good pick?
The only thing that I thought with that pick was that's where we thought Will Levis was going to go. So that's what stands out as they decided to take Anthony Richardson, who is thought of as a project. But, when you have Quentin Nelson, you're paying him as much as you have. Now you put the other pieces of that line that need to be redone. You still have Jonathan Taylor. Drastically changes the face of that team because Richardson's ability to run the football.
They could be fun.
Yes.
They could be fun. They might be sloppy and a little young, but it'll take a minute, but they could be fun.
So what do you grade it?
I mean, I'm going to say definitely B+, Dan. B+.
Nice. See, Rich brought his red pen and everything.
Yeah, B, man.
He's grading all these draft picks, grading all the teams.
I did see, though, on the coverage last night, there was one funny moment where we're towards the middle or end of the first round, and they were focusing on the fans, and you could tell they made a pick that none of the fans had any clue of the name, but they didn't want to boo or cheer. And
it was one of the O linemen that was picked. Yeah.
It was. I remember it was a white O lineman, like some big dude from Iowa. I think racist. It was a big white O lineman from Iowa, I believe, and every fan's like, yeah, like they weren't sure. Like, are we clapping?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, and the video floating
it's kind of like when Fox Sports Radio announced that they were signing us in the afternoons. People were like, Covino Rich.
I heard of those guys. Wait, these guys? The Sunday night guys?
I did see a clip floating around like TikTok and Instagram where it was all these Eagles fans furious with the Jalen Hurts pick, and it just shows you. Come on, that's it. You don't know. But hey, it was fun. I enjoyed watching. It was on. It's good background TV, right?
That's exactly
I was
what it
grilling
is.
I was grilling up some of my butcher box chicken last night. I was hanging with the kids. We were playing at the side yard. But
Funny you say that.
every 5 minutes.
No cap, even though I'm wearing one, Rich. No cap. I was also rocking some butcher box steak last night.
Yeah, so
grilling up while the draft was on.
Yeah, it was one of those like every 5 minutes or so, you just peek your head and like, oh, who are they picking?
Mm-hmm.
Lucky you guys should have at least taken a video for the rest of us.
Let me tell you, the chime, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. Oh, you want some meat, Dan? Come over. I got a whole freezer full.
Not yours.